What was New York Yankees' original name? The New York Yankees baseball team.
The original name?
Yeah. Oh no.
The New York Gentleman?
No, it was not the New York. It was the New York Highlanders. Highlanders. Yeah, like the car. Yeah. I'm glad they went with the Yankees. I think that's a much catchier name.
Wait, like the car? There's a car. Oh,
The
it's like a
Toyota
Nissan?
Highlander. I think I only know about the Toyota.
Toyota,
because
yeah, exactly.
My mom
Yeah.
had one, but yeah. That was the trivia question for
Yep,
today.
yep. Yeah, so I'm anyways, we'll get to what we did
Yeah.
recently. My connection's like a little bit suspect
Yep. On the sketch side.
because I'm at this random hotel in like Kiel, Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what happened was I was in Strasbourg the last 3 days in France, and it's like right next to the German border, and France was instituting the like sanitary COVID pass thing where you can't go into like restaurants starting August 1st if you don't have this pass, and I am not eligible to get it because I don't have a French like social security ID, because I tried to get it and they couldn't input my data into the French system. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm literally not going to be able to do anything in France. So then I walked. So this morning I walked across the border,
Yeah.
which I wasn't sure was legal. I had to Google if this was legal, and there wasn't really anything saying it was illegal. So I had all my stuff on my back. Because normally it's legal, like for sure, because like the Schengen zone, right? But with COVID, I didn't know if they were like stopping that.
Yeah.
But I had all my stuff on my back, and I just walked for like an hour and a half right over a bridge, and then I was in Germany.
Dude. Wow.
And yeah, and like no one stopped me.
Jeff
so
is on the run from the French law.
I'm in Germany now.
And now he's...
Yeah.
Oh, no, we lost him. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, they didn't stop me. I mean, yes, 100% the German government does not know that I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now they know, if anyone
Yeah.
from Germany listens to the podcast. But we'll hope...
And no one tell them.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's funny. That is... Really, what a great way to kick off your Germany trip, to be in Germany for the first time.
And I also we have like a sketchy connection. It looks like I'm in like some kind of bunker. I'm like hiding from them.
We're not laughing that much, but this is one of our funniest intros, I think, because it's just Jeff.
I'm like, yeah, nobody tell. It's our secret.
You're moving at like 10 frames a second, but the audio's clear, so you're just like, yeah, so I had to escape France, or else, and...
Yeah, they weren't going to let me into restaurants. They already weren't letting me into museums. Yeah. I got turned away at an art museum. And then also everyone there was like so confused by the American vaccine card, because they have this like very fancy system of like they have a QR code printed, and it's like very official looking. And mine it's just like a index card with some handwriting.
I was thinking that. I'm like,
and they're like, yeah, you could just you could totally just fabricate that. You just photocopy one, put it on some like semi-glossy paper, and just like write some stuff on it, and then you'd be like, oh,
anyone can copy the American vaccine card. Like, that's what's worrisome about it.
Yeah,
we have like Lollapalooza happening here in like this week, I think. And I don't think it's gonna end well, to be honest. I don't know if it's a good idea, even though most people are vaccinated here. Not most people. I mean, Chicago, yeah. But, cases are not looking great recently. things are kind of in a bad swing, but we'll see. I'm chilling, but
better than the state I left. Florida.
Yeah. How's Florida doing right now? Can we get a Florida update on the coronavirus? Or
very badly.
Okay, that's
because they don't have a mask mandate.
Yeah.
In any capacity, and they haven't for months. So now there's the new variant that's more contagious.
Yeah,
it's Florida. It's Florida. What are you gonna do?
Right. You The thing is, I got across what you just said to me, and I don't even know if you can hear me right now.
Yeah.
You're completely frozen.
Oh, I hear you.
You hear me? Okay, cool. Your voice was... I got across what you were trying to say to me, but your voice was like...
Yeah.
It was... This is... Oh, no. We are really just like kind of going to get through this podcast.
This is all my fault.
No, it's whatever hotel this is.
Drink check.
A beverage check? Yeah. What are you drinking on? What are you sipping on?
A beverage check. I have an innocent direct saft, Wassermelon, Himbeer, Apfel, and Limette. That
was so incoherent. It's hilarious. But I think I've had that brand of juice though, for the record. Innocent. I'm actually sporting the water bottle that I bought in France when I was there. It's got the Champs-Élysées.
Oh yeah, I've seen that
film festival. Anyway, I had some stuff to talk about, but we really should just kind of plow through this one. We really should not waste any time this week. I will say, I'll ask you one thing, and this will be a good segue, but have you been catching up with the Olympics, Jeff?
Not at all. I saw that the U.S. Lost to France at basketball when I was in France.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone cared.
Yeah. In France. That's really funny.
Like I didn't notice anyone particularly.
And I don't think America takes the Olympics. Well, they don't take basketball that seriously. Like no one really cares because we have like the NBA.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Well, the thing is that the U.S. has by far the best players. That most of the best players aren't even playing on the team because they just don't want to.
Yeah.
So like.
LeBron.
Like, I mean, it actually would have been a very good segue because LeBron is intentionally, he's not playing so he can promote Space Jam.
That's what.
That's what he said.
Is that okay? Because I made that joke at lunch.
That's actually why.
Yesterday, and everyone was like laughing, and I was like, no, I think that's actually probably the reason. Passed up the gold medal for, the box office. I don't know.
Well, maybe not the gold medal.
They probably
lost their only game they played. They might though. They might.
I haven't really been paying attention to any of the Olympics personally, but I was yesterday. I'm gonna tell this story really quick. Yesterday, me, Nick, and our friend Cooper were gonna go to Topgolf, in Schaumburg, Illinois. So we drove like an hour and a half. We did not reserve a bay. It was a Sunday. I don't know what we were thinking, but we drove.
Do you want to explain just for everyone else what Topgolf is?
Topgolf, it's like a driving range for golf, but they kind of make it a game like bowling. Like it's like you hit balls into like these giant holes. And like you get points, and you basically go there and get drunk and eat food, and it's a lot of fun. But we drove like an hour and a half outside the city to like the shittiest suburb. I hate Schaumburg so much. And they were like, there's an
IKEA though.
Yeah, there isn't. I was literally I was gonna say we should stop at IKEA. But
that's the only thing anyone knows about Schaumburg.
Yeah, is the IKEA. They were like, it's gonna be a 2-hour wait. So we were like, absolutely not. We're not gonna do this. So we just went to, I think it was called Miller's Ale House. It was like a shitty suburb bar, and just drank and ate nachos for like 2 hours in the middle of the day, and we watched the Olympics. But USA won judo, I think. We won in judo.
We won
Yeah,
in judo.
that was the one I saw. Let me just double check that it was judo.
Because the only event I even saw who won was like skateboarding, and the gold and silver medalists were both 13-year-olds for women's skateboarding.
Dude, that's crazy. The skateboarding has been crazy to see though. But I feel like that's the case with snowboarding too. They're always like really young,
Yeah,
but
because I think that like if you're my age and you do skateboarding and you like fall, your body breaks in half.
Did you see the clip of the guy who busted his nuts in skateboarding? It's
what?
I might just send it to you right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, although with this internet, I might not.
You're not gonna be able to watch it for a while, but he was like, he fell off his board and his body came flying into a rail and it hit his nuts, and yeah, it's just imagine it's like
is he okay?
He looked like he was in a lot of pain, but it's pretty funny. It's like the first year skateboarding's at the Olympics and you like break your nuts in front of the whole world. Really?
Yeah. Did you send it to me?
I did send it to you.
On what platform?
On Twitter.
Okay, we'll see.
So far, your internet's pretty good, so we're kind of hanging on. I can see you crystal clear, and then you froze. Never mind. Oh wait, no, you're good. You're just looking at your phone.
No, I just was looking down, I think. Okay, so my internet's not good enough for me to receive that video yet. But
okay.
I'll watch it later.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You glitched a lot. I don't know if you were waiting.
We're good. You know, it's funny because there's glitches in the movie that we have to talk about.
Yeah, which is Space
Jam.
That's
like,
2.
A New Legacy.
A New Legacy. Yeah. Should we just talk about it? Should we just get into this one?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it's one of the best films we've watched on this podcast.
Jeff, I can't tell if we're serious or not. I would like to preface this by saying I messaged Jeff yesterday when I watched it saying I think this is the worst movie we've watched on the podcast. And I don't know if you agree with me because there is always Kazam. But when I was watching this, I was like, this is, in my opinion, on par with Kazam.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, LeBron overall, I think, is an okay actor, but his acting was pretty bad in this film. Like, totally. I've seen him act better than this.
Yeah, LeBron is a surprisingly good actor. You're right. He is just really
literally this film, the dialogue, they just have him pretty much vocalize his internal emotion.
Yeah.
That's all. Like the writing for LeBron was just LeBron like saying,
"I'm sad.
I'm being a bad father."
Yeah. I need to get back to the real world or something. Yeah.
It's like we gotta win.
This game. Yeah. Well, for anyone out of touch, I will read the synopsis like we always do. This one is directed by Malcolm D. Lee. It's a 2021 movie, and synopsis reads, superstar LeBron James and his young son Dom get trapped in digital space by a rogue AI. To get home safely, LeBron teams up with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and the rest of the Looney Tunes gang for a high-stakes basketball game against the AI's digitized champions of the court, a powered-up roster called the Goon Squad. I was going to say roaster. Almost said rooster.
Roast. Powered up rooster. That's like in the, what's his name? Foghorn Leghorn.
What's it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't in this
movie. So wait, who was the director? He wasn't. He absolutely was in the movie, like a lot of the movie.
Okay, cool. Malcolm D. Lee. was the director.
He should have Malcolm deleted that script.
That was good. That was good. See, even
The timing, I promise the timing was better in real life.
yeah. I bet. Hold on. I think I saw like an interesting thing about this director as far as like what else he has directed, but I could be wrong. There was someone. You know what? Never mind. I'm wrong. This director doesn't have that crazy of a. No, okay. You know what? Let's move on. What? Okay. So what did you think of the movie, Jeff? What did you do?
Okay, so I vehemently disagree with you. This is absolutely not the worst film that we've watched. Kazam, the thing is, LeBron, even when he's acting like with this very exposition-y dialogue and his acting's not that good in this film, he still at least has charisma.
Okay, that's fair.
Shaq in Kazam has no charisma. That I will say the kid was equally annoying to the Kazam kid. But also, okay, LeBron agreed. Like, he obviously, you know, had to okay this script.
Yeah.
Because it's LeBron.
Yeah.
I don't understand why LeBron is like, I want a film where I'm the hero and one of my kids is the villain for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a
It was a weird decision. Well, I was curious because I looked it up. It's like, well, obviously, this isn't his actual kid. And that's not his actual wife. And I just thought that's like an interesting... Like, when
that's
else...
How the first one is. The first Space Jam's the same deal, where it's about MJ's kids and they're not his real kids.
That's so weird. Because he's playing himself, but he's playing this, like, fictional version.
Yeah.
Everything else is true.
I kind of respect it's kind of like an homage to the original in that it's both about like these weird fake families of these athletes, but even though the athletes are playing themselves, but also the fact that most of both movies is the game at the end.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
Because you remember that was the note we had about the first one. We're like, yeah, I forgot how early the game started, and it's like this one. It's like, yeah, all right. So we halfway game,
mostly the game,
the movie, 1 hour game,
which
like it took as long as an actual basketball game.
Which I'm glad, because it's like that's what we came to see. We came to see the Space Jam, and we certainly get it. I will say this one, whereas the other Space Jam was like an hour long, this one is pretty much double that length. It is a very, in my opinion, this was a long movie.
It was very long,
but maybe, yeah. You froze. I'm waiting for you to say something.
But we're good now. Okay, is a comment I have to imagine a comment that every person who watches this has is that this is just like Space Jam mixed with Ready Player One, right?
Yeah, everyone's compared it to Ready Player One at this point. Especially like it's got the same IPs in it, and
but even like the 3D graphics look like they just like copied some of them.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, actually, okay. What I will say is I don't actually think it looks that bad. Some of the 3D graphics. I mean, for all the references, it looks kind of shitty. I could not stop looking at all the background characters throughout the whole basketball scene. Like the fact that the Clockwork Orange guys. I know we talked about this when the trailer dropped, but I'm just like, what is going? The Joker, who's doing like the same laugh every 3 seconds. It looks like he's on a loop. It just It was hard to draw my attention away from all that, but I thought like Bugs and the whole Looney Tunes gang looked okay. You know, they looked great. Yeah,
they look good. Yeah, we didn't have a Sonic the Hedgehog issue.
They made.
What if they Sonic the Hedgehog Bugs and he just looked really creepy and had like a weird big mouth with like teeth that were too human?
Rabbit. Yeah. But no, that was not as big of an issue as I expected it to be. The issues here are just that, like, I don't know. I hated the fact that Warner Brothers, the company, was like a huge part of this movie. Like that it was okay. Don Cheadle. Let's talk about Don Cheadle, who just 2 episodes ago we were like, you know, he's a pretty serious actor.
We were praising we were praising specifically Don Cheadle's acting.
Yeah, and I will say I think he's okay in this movie.
That's the point you're making.
I thought he embraced. He leaned into how kind of shitty his character was written as.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that anyone else would have
That's
done a
fair.
better job. So
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. That it was mainly
Yeah.
a writing issue.
But
That he's playing an algorithm, which none of the computer stuff for anyone who even has like used a computer for 2 hours or knows anything about computers, like the way that computers are
doesn't make
portrayed in
any
this
sense.
does
yeah.
not make
The
sense.
video game development.
Like the way the kid
I was like, this
coding
is
the
so.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know it's boring to do it the other way. I don't know what I expected from Space Jam. That's the thing. I feel like you have a different take on this movie simply because Space Jam, the first one, was a big part of your childhood, and for me, I have no connection to Space Jam.
Yeah, well, I think that the way this was written and the fact that they tried to do the Ready Player One thing where they incorporated
Yeah.
so many different IPs and tried to just make it like a, hey, look, you can look at these other things from it. It's like they weren't trying to make this film a part of someone's childhood who's a kid now, like the old Space Jam
Yeah.
was a part of mine. It feels like this Space Jam was written as just like a throwaway thing for people that like the first Space Jam. And kids would still watch it because they love like cartoons and LeBron, but they were like, hey, you know, we made another Space Jam.
That's a good point. I think it like completely, like Space Jam, the original one, kind of thrived off its concept where it's like, oh, it's Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes. I don't know if you can hear anything I'm saying right now. But this one, okay. This one felt like it was just, the only way people were going to see this was because of LeBron. Like, no one even gives a fuck about the Looney Tunes if they're going to see this movie, in my opinion. I feel like it's entirely about LeBron and, like, the fact that Space Jam's the name and also all the other IPs and everything. It's like, it feels like it is only working off of pre-existing things. And as a result, kind of like I said on Letterboxd, it just feels like I'm at an amusement park or something. And I'm watching things that I'm already familiar with, just like kind of watered down, like all over the place. And yeah, I will admit, I'm like, it's entertaining and it's like, that's a lot of fun depending on what kind of mood you're in. But I did not think it was a good movie.
I don't know who like thought, you know who should be a huge part of this movie?
Dude.
LeBron's fake son.
Yeah.
I was like, just give me someone else on the other team. I don't want to see LeBron's
He was a
fake
very
son.
bad villain for this story. Like, the villains in the original Space Jam, I was like, those are fun, you know? But this was not working for me.
I mean, they needed to give someone like a redemption.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to see it. That wasn't fun. Like, the fun thing is watching Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And LeBron's fake son is just one less person the Looney Tunes can, like, clown. Because you can't have the Looney Tunes, like, strapping TNT to LeBron's fake son. Like, imagine because if you notice, right, like, for every other person in their team, they did, like, Looney Tunes stuff, too. And they never did any of that to LeBron's fake son.
Yeah. That's true. They can only go so far with him, you know?
Yeah, like you have what's his name, like Sam, the gun-toting
Sam.
guy. You have him shoot LeBron's son in the head.
They're like, too far. We're playing.
Just like
LeBron's like, this is about basketball.
no more Looney Tuning. I know at halftime I told you it was okay, but I was wrong.
I was joking. He's like, wait, that was a real gun? You're not just a cartoon? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Also, that kid, I looked him up. He hasn't been in, like, I don't know how he got this role. He's like an unknown. I don't know how he got the part, but Yeah, I don't. He yeah. Anyways,
did.
I will say I liked the Michael B. Jordan cameo a lot. I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
that was funny. I think that was like the most well written and executed part of the whole film. Like that was
landed.
a joke
Yeah.
that absolutely landed because it's just such a
Yeah,
good
and
joke.
it's like it made sense. I don't know. Like the other references, they just kind of show up for the sake of being there. But Michael B. Jordan, I was like, this feels like something that was actually like written for once, and like there's a joke here.
Yeah, it's something that if this movie was good, that scene still would have been in the movie.
That's a good way of putting it.
Because it's an actual, it's a callback to the first Space Jam rather than most of the things in this film that are just callbacks to things
to the
I know
Warner Brothers studios.
in my life. Yeah. Okay. The Warner, when they were on the lot and they had the big
dude,
poster.
I was like, that's what I hated that. I was like, there's a giant Scoob poster. In one of them, there was like an Aquaman poster behind Sarah Silverman. There was a Joker poster.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god. Yeah. I would say like my least favorite part about this movie, and you might disagree, without a doubt, was the Porky Pig rap. That was terrible.
Yeah, that was so bad.
So
That was one of those scenes that I think was written with the thought that like 7-year-olds would think it's very funny.
100%. That was for the kids.
They're
Yeah.
like, oh, the pig's rapping.
The PIG.
That's funny.
Yeah. Piggy Smalls. I didn't like that part. I don't know. I think what irritates me about movies like this, it's kind of like the Deadpool effect, is they're chocked full of like all this, like all their humor is like self-awareness humor, which the original Space Jam had a little bit of that, but for some reason it was kind of funny because it was like Bill Murray doing it, and this was like,
Yeah.
this just felt really like not funny. I guess
Yeah, it's just nostalgia.
it felt very
pandering.
corporate. Yeah.
Because again, the original Space Jam, it was a completely original idea at the time.
Yeah.
Where this, much of what is supposed to have been the entertainment value, was straight up just looking at things and being like, I know that, and that's the same issue a lot of people had with Ready Player One, of course.
Yeah. I heard you.
Yeah.
You blacked out for
I
a
mean,
second.
at the end of the day, though, like it's still a very fun idea.
Totally. I mean, I'm
and
glad.
I still like kind of enjoyed watching it a little bit. Like I'm not mad I watched it, but I'm not like eager to watch it again.
Yeah. I wish we watched this together. I will say this is one of those movies where I was like, I wish I had seen this with
Yeah,
Jeff
I think so.
in a theater instead of alone. Similar to the In the Heights screening, just alone on my couch in the middle of the day. Feel
Yeah,
like
see that one at least I watched with my parents on the couch.
Yeah. I really got to start changing the way I watch movies because it really has an effect.
Yeah, the In the Heights though was the one where my Letterboxd review was that my power went out, so I could empathize with the characters because my power, like in my parents' condo, like kept going out.
That's so funny.
It went out like 3 times while we were watching it, so it took forever to finish.
Yeah, you got the full 4D experience of In the Heights.
Yeah, it also would have been nice to watch this in person because then we could have done the podcast in person and we wouldn't have like a 1-second delay.
Yeah, and I would be able to understand everything you're saying. You wouldn't be because the fact that I'm recording this on my
Exactly.
laptop too is funny because my Zoom recording looks, I imagine, a lot different from yours, where you are barely moving. It's like a slideshow
Yeah.
of Jeff pictures, not.
Yeah, mine looks. Yeah.
I look.
I
Do I
should
look
just
the
do
same?
like very distinct poses so that when it cuts, I'm like,
That's what's happening right now. Looks like a stop motion image. This is the video. Yeah, you're giving me a lot of thumbnail.
That's a segment for
Yeah,
the
they're
YouTube
gonna
audience.
love that one.
It was not for podcasting. It was just you kind of slightly giggling and me not.
But I
making any
have a
sound.
contagious giggle.
So that makes terrible
according to
audio.
a lot of people. So I guess that's good.
Well, you know,
Cool.
COVID's also contagious.
Jeff, I was considering it for last night. Cookie threw a milk, it's called Milk Crate, but it was like a backyard stand-up show where everybody sat on milk crates, and I had a set. I was considering sending it to you, but it's a little embarrassing. But
Oh, I want you to send it to me. Okay, I saw that happened, and I would have been.
yeah,
there if
I
was,
assumed you would
in
have
the
been
country.
there. But I almost went up there, and I wanted my first joke to be, I just tested positive for the coronavirus.
Okay, that actually would have been.
I was
a great
considering
joke.
it. Just the thing about my set was it was a character bit where I pretended to be a cowboy telling all these stories, and it just wouldn't have made sense. But it actually kind of would have been funnier, I guess, if I would have started with.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, of course, that is only funny to like a specific like.
It's not
you know,
funny.
Obviously, if the coronavirus has affected you, it's not that's not actually a funny bit. So that's the only issue with that is that absolutely could.
I don't know if it has landed.
If someone had like
landed well.
someone they know. Yeah, so that's the one issue. It's funny for someone like me who doesn't know anyone
Right.
directly.
So the hesitation.
So I do see
why.
now that I thought about it, the hesitation was absolutely the right call.
Yeah. I just love the way that story went from like, oh, you should have said that, to like, you know what? Looking back at it, very immature.
Yep.
Very.
So, and honestly, it's a sign of maturity that you didn't say.
Oh yeah, no, I grew up a lot during that set.
Yeah.
Can I tell you one of the jokes from the set
Okay.
that I was
yes.
really happy with? So keep in mind, I'm a cowboy in the set, and my one joke was,
Sorry, that's already funny. Keep in mind, I'm a
cowboy. I said, I don't know why they call it a saddle. I'm happy as hell up there. That was.
Oh,
I like
yeah, that's
that
good.
one.
That's good.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'll send you the set. I think you would get a kick out of it. I just. Anyway, Space Jam. Do you have any closing thoughts on this before we move into Q&A?
I like the idea of the movie. I just wish it had been executed completely differently.
Yeah, what would you do if you got to direct Space Jam?
Like it's fun.
You know?
I don't have an immediate answer because I've never. That's not a scenario I've ever considered.
Yeah. Never mind then. Never mind.
But it would not
Yeah.
have been this.
Yeah.
I could tell you that.
I wish they had like kind of leaned into. I think the self-awareness would have worked if they really like leaned into the sequel part of it. That like this has already happened, instead of leaning into like brand awareness. I think that was just where they took the wrong turn.
It would have been interesting if, since they have all of the Warner Brothers, copyrights, if they actually had some of them play basketball instead of just teasing if that could happen.
Actually, yeah, that would have been better. But
I said you wish that they had Bill Murray.
oh,
this
okay. See, that time all I heard was Bill Murray, so I got what you were trying to ask. Yeah, I do wish they had Bill Murray.
Perfect.
Thanks for asking. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we should move on because this is getting sketch. What would you give it though? What would you give it for a score?
Probably 2.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Maybe a 2.5. Definitely no higher than 2.5.
Yeah. Understood. I went a full.
Because it's not terrible. It's watchable for sure.
I went 1.
It's just it could have been good.
I went.
You
1.
went 1. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably at a 2 to be honest.
No,
but
I
I'm
definitely
not at a 1.
I definitely disliked it more than you did, And that's okay. That's okay. I kind of went in expecting
Yeah.
that. But that's, one of these rare cases where Jeff and I disagree. Yeah. Anyways, we'll
Yeah. It happens. See, some people, there's a big theory that that the second person just
Yeah.
agrees with the
Yeah.
first person.
but that's not true.
And we proved
Jeff,
it
could
wrong.
you check the wire on your thing real quick to see if there's any, if it's loose or getting a weird buzz? Okay, let's do these questions. This first one comes from Antonio DeMarco. It's from the Patreon. This is a $15 patron question. If you are a $15 patron, you get your questions answered in these episodes. And this one is, Karsten, I saw you just finished your short film. What is the process of creating your own short film like? As an aspiring filmmaker, I'm curious to know. And Jeff can also jump in on this because of pilots and many more. But I would say it was just very fun. It was very exhilarating. I think it was just different for me because I do everything alone. Like everything I work on, I do it all myself. And it was just a very different experience.
Except this podcast.
Except for this podcast, yeah, with Jeff. But it's just me in a room. Everything I do. But yeah, this was like working with like 15 people. And also, anytime I do work with someone, I'm usually at the bottom of the totem pole. Unless it's with Jeff. I guess I have the name in the title. But that's... but
we're two totem poles that are next to each other.
Exactly. But I'm just, especially like film sets, I'm usually a PA or something small. Like, or I'm like, I've done like DIY photography on sets more than I've done actual set work. So to be on the director's side was just very different, but it was very fun. And yeah, it's nice because there's a lot of people there to like help you out and kind of carry you through a lot of things. You're not doing everything yourself in a ridiculously overwhelming way, which is cool. And of course, it depends on the size of the set. Like that's not always the case, but it was really yeah. And this was still a pretty small set, but it was very like helpful. Anyway, that was my answer for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. I mean, the thing is, you just always want to make sure you feel like you're doing your job well enough to where you're not like, wasting people's time.
That was the big thing. Staying on schedule.
Because, with most of the stuff, yeah, we make, like, we aren't, necessarily paying everyone. Now, for this, luckily, you could pay some people. So that's cool. But, yeah, a lot of the times it's, like, we do it on, like, favors.
Yeah.
So definitely have friends with talent, like, be friends with talented people.
That's a
it's a life hack.
Yeah. That's why I decided to do this podcast with Jeff. Very talented guy. Yeah.
Yeah, bad internet though.
His
internet
terrible
is
internet.
trash.
It could be a lot better. This next one is specifically for Jeff, and it is question for more Jeff and Karsten if he has input. But what's your favorite basketball team and your favorite player if you follow basketball? If not, why is LeBron such a terrible actor? And this comes from I'm not pretentious _. I will come right out and say it though. Jeff and I disagree with that last statement.
Well, it's funny. We actually talked about it, so we don't even need to address that part. We did it earlier in the episode. I think LeBron was a bad actor in this film, though. I do agree with that. But if you've seen some of LeBron's other work, LeBron can act a bit. Now, as for the rest of this question, Karsten is looking like funny because I'm sure I froze, so he's just pretending like he heard what I said.
Yep. I didn't hear a single thing
Orlando. Yeah.
Go on.
The Orlando Magic were always the team that was closest to me since I am from near Tampa, Florida. Tampa does not have a basketball team. Tampa just has the other sports, and we're currently winning every sport, but we just don't have a basketball team. So I went to like a couple Orlando Magic games when I lived in Orlando because that's where I went to college. Mm-hmm. But they kind of stink right now. And I don't really watch that much basketball. But, I mean, LeBron seems fine. You know, you got... I know a lot of a lot of basketball players. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's Greek. Very good at basketball. The Milwaukee Bucks just won the NBA championship with him as the star player. So, yeah, he's good.
Nice. That's great. That's more... I don't know any basketball players besides LeBron and Shaq, so that was a good answer for the people. No, never mind.
You know Michael
Jordan. I know who Steph Curry is. There's a Chris, right? Someone named Chris.
Chris Paul?
Chris Bosh? Is that anybody?
Chris Bosh. Yeah, he's retired.
Okay, cool. I didn't know. Oh, Kevin Garnett.
There's Chris.
Kevin Garnett.
He's retired as well.
But he was in Uncut Gems, yeah.
Yeah, he was in Uncut Gems. Okay, Kevin Garnett actually was a very good actor, surprisingly.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, much better than LeBron.
He was on the Timberwolves.
What if this movie just had Kevin Garnett instead of LeBron? It's like a kind of famous basketball player for the general public, and also one that has not played professionally for like over 5 years.
And Kevin Garnett's like really pissed off and stressed the way he is in Uncut Gems. He's like, what the fuck is up with all these bunnies?
He has the stone.
Yeah.
Like, at halftime, instead of the team talk, he's like, everyone just gotta touch the stone.
I might have to tweet about this. Yeah. Anyway, that's that question.
Last time you tweeted from like one of our riffs,
it went well.
It was the West Anderson winning the Palme d'Or.
Palme d'Or, yeah.
That was a good one.
Thanks. It did well, actually, numbers wise. Well, cool. We should just honestly move into wrap up.
We should. I'm gonna actually give my brother some free promo.
Oh.
He's in the last couple months he's gotten really into Formula One. And he now has a Jared, he goes by J-Bone.
Yep.
So he has a Formula One like TikTok where he does like breakdowns of things that happen in Formula One races, and it's called Formula Bone.
That's really
good. And he started like a week ago. He's already at like 20,000 followers. He's only done 2 breakdowns, and the last one has over 600,000 plays. Dude,
that's honestly good for him. He found his niche on the internet and is thriving.
It's becoming a Formula One influencer.
Yeah. Your brother's really good at the internet. It seems like he's been in all pockets of it and is kind of like really that's cool.
So yeah, check out Formula Bone on I think TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll head into the wrap up then. We'll start by announcing our next movie. We did not talk about this.
We did not talk about. We'll start by not announcing the next movie.
The next movie. Well, Jeff, let me ask you this: is there any way you can see that new movie Old in Germany? Are you able to go to theaters, or are you not?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because I saw that just on a whim and thought it would be a lot of fun to talk about, but I don't know if you are able to see it, which is the only issue.
Is it released in Germany?
It might be.
I think we'll
not,
have to probably just figure that out and post in a couple days. What the movie's gonna be.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on the Twitter. But as of now, we have nothing.
Yeah. Well, we could always do Bergman Island.
Moving on.
Wait, you can't see that, can you?
I can't see that one. Yeah, I can't. I don't know when that comes out here. We'll figure.
Are you
it
even
out.
a fan of Bergman?
Well, this next part, I think. Have you? Well, let me ask you. Have you even seen a Bergman movie, Jeff? Or
I have not.
But you got to
I've
see
just
Bergman
seen a movie
Island.
that's about
awesome.
people who love Bergman.
Yeah. That's really. That's. Well, this next part we like to read a review because we like to hear what you guys have to say about the podcast. This one comes from Groovin89 from Australia. The subject line is the best Dirtcast movie bag, 5 stars, and it reads, I discovered the podcast at the start of this year, and I really wished I had found it sooner. I obviously couldn't give it a review until I had listened to all of it, so I started right from the beginning and listened to every single episode. I love Jeff and Carson's conversations so much, especially when they go off topic, which they always do. Can't recommend it enough. Nice. Thank you, Groovin. Appreciate it. That is a lot of podcasts to listen to.
That's yeah.
And
I honestly can't fathom doing that.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoy hearing that you have done that, and it was like you enjoyed doing it, not that it was like a form of torture.
Yeah, right. I'd love to hear someone's like rank. I wonder if there's anyone out there crazy enough to rank every episode of this podcast and see which one is, or at least which one's the best episode. You know, I don't know. In my opinion, it's always been Guns Akimbo. I love that episode, but hate that movie. That was a really fun episode.
Okay, I have one quick question.
Okay.
Because I think this actually for you should be very close. What do you think's better, this Space Jam or Guns Akimbo?
I think this Space Jam is better than Guns Akimbo for sure. Guns Akimbo is pretty bad. Guns Akimbo, I think Guns Akimbo is my least favorite movie we've watched on the podcast, to be honest. And then it goes Kazam for me, and then Space Jam. And I think that's my ranking.
Yeah, because Guns Akimbo, like, the idea is funny, but the actual movie is
really
like so
stupid.
needlessly grotesque.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Yeah.
All right. And lastly, we'd like to thank the patrons. Yawn. If you want to become a patron, head on over to patreon.com/Carscast, where you can get exclusive access to bonus episodes, Q&As, shoutouts at the end of every episode, and so much more. We just put out 2 bonus episodes for this month, and we're doing
No, one was for last month.
One was for last month. That is true. But yeah, one is for last month. And we have a Zoom hangout happening this Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, I believe. That's this Saturday, July 31st. If you're a patron, we'll see you there. We'll hang out and we'll answer questions. Hopefully Jeff has some internet by then. And yeah. Anyways, here's that shout out we promised. Also, another thing is that if you're a $15 patron, you get your questions answered in these episodes, which is pretty cool. But without any further ado, thank you to Alex Thomas, Antonio DeMarco, Ben Chow, Blake Root, Boat Boyoyoyoy, Brandon Yu, Brock Schultz, Camilla, Chuck the Duck, Daniel Cook, David Sir, Eden, Gavin Henderson, Grant Gow, Harry Remedianakis, Iva, Jaden Easton, Jacob Colness, John Van Hout, Jordan Hill, Judy S, KDT, Liv Rob, Lukewarm, Martin Deff, Marilee Borslow, Meridian, Michael Rennie, Monroe Page, Nora B. Parks, Riley Ost, Robots Baby, yeah, Robots, woo, let's go, Robots, Skylar Ermel, Sophia Arieta, Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Werbin, Jagerman Jensen, yeah, The Monopoly Man, Tom Likes Beans, Vegard Strom, Vera S, Wes Kinley, Xavier Faucier, Yusef A, and Zoe Hernandez McDonald. Thank you, patrons. Lovely people. Awesome. Well, this was a fun episode. Jeff and I made it to the end, which I didn't think was going to happen.
Issues.
Hey, we've been on both sides of it many times, and we always end up on the other side. So,
yeah,
it's awesome.
And again, I think that is this the 120th episode?
It is. Yeah, this is the 120th, I think.
Yeah, I would say that about 100 of them or more have not been recorded in the same location. So hopefully when I get back,
it's been more than
100. We can start. Yeah, we can start changing that.
Yep. I I think I got the tail end of it.
You definitely. Yeah. Anyways, do you want me to just end it right now? Like, catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.